Good afternoon. We're going to start in few minutes. Waiting for all attending the meeting. So we're going to start in a couple minutes.
Okay, shall we get started, Salami?
Yes, let's start.
Yeah. I'll just to let everybody know, the session is being recorded this afternoon. So for me, I would like to welcome everybody, and so good afternoon, good morning, and good evening from wherever you are around the globe. I'm really excited to welcome so many people from around this very small world of ours to our Microsoft Dynamics webinar. My name is Ian Turner, and I am the Microsoft Dynamics 365 lead for Tech Data UK. And joining me is Salami Cole, the General Manager from ETG Consulting, and Kathleen Parker, the BizApps Territory Channel Manager from Microsoft. I personally would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for joining us today, and trust that you'll find the next 50 minutes both informative and constructive. We don't have a lot of time today, so with that, I will pass you across to Salami. Thanks.
Thank you, Ian. So good afternoon, all. Thanks for taking your time to join us today for our webinar on the topic of upgrading and migrating your AX ERP to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management, formerly, Finance and Operations. I'm Selami Kul with ETG Consulting, a Gold Dynamics ERP and ISV partner, one of your hosts today, along with Microsoft's Kathleen Parker and Ian Turner from Tech Data. Kathleen, who will introduce herself in a moment, will be delivering most of the thought-provoking migration content today. We also have two Dynamics techno-functional people, my colleagues, online with us to handle your questions along the way today, monitoring the panel on the right side of your screen. They will also be here to answer your inquiries in the questions period at the end and all the way to the top of the hours and beyond if necessary. Our team today online is from our London office. Some housekeeping and things you should know. Back to the Q&A panel. Your questions will be responded to when you publish it with the send button, which our moderators can see. Again, we will have more time for questions at the end. We will be sending the webinar slides Monday, along with a few related migration and cloud PDF, and the reminder to respond to the follow-up preferences, which is a multiple choice question, basically. A minute on ETG Consulting. We have delivered over 120 Dynamics ERP AX and finance and operation implementations over the last 20 years. including our 6 full AX upgrades from the latest version to finance and operation and the cloud. Actually, Dynamics ERP is all we do. We offer competent and the best practices, centric implementations, and also 24/7 customer support. Now, a quick look at our agenda and a few words on what you will walk away with today. The cloud, provides more and better integration abilities, and specifically better integration with all Dynamics and the Microsoft product, including Office, such as Power BI, other Dynamics products, business applications, and CRM applications. And no servers required, great security under, especially nowadays for everybody hears that cyber security attacks, and the remote features to accommodate, the COVID-related working environments. One version with continuous updates, lower cost of ownership, etc. And the agenda will cover, we will talk all these, and if you have questions, we will try to answer at the end of the sessions. We will have 15 minutes Q&A session, end of the minutes. We're planning to cover, including the questions, in the 45 minutes. And now turn over to Kathleen, Territory Channel Manager, Business Applications from Microsoft UK. Kathleen.
Thank you, Salami. I'll just share my screen. Bear with me a second. Hopefully you can all see that okay?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, thanks guys, and good afternoon everybody. Hello, wherever you're from. As Salami said, I'm Kathleen Parker, the BizApps Territory Channel Manager in the UK. So what that means is I work with the partners to help them build out a Dynamics practice with Dynamics and Power Platform. A little bit about my background. Originally I was an accountant, moved into programming and then on to implementing finance systems. So for many years I was one of those people who came into the office, scrabbled around in your server room, having to install servers, PCs, working training on systems, and looking at ways that ERP can optimize your business. So for me, moving those ERP systems into the cloud is a real passion of mine. I've seen how important it is to companies over the last few years, and how digital transformation is something that's really at the forefront. It's not going away, it's here to stay, and it's a phenomenon in terms of what it can do for businesses. So I'm going to be talking to you a little bit today about what Microsoft is offering in terms of the Dynamics 365 migration program. So that's the migration program from typically what was Dynamics AX to our SaaS product, which is Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. And we've got various programs in place. We've got assessment workshops, transition licensing discounts, but this is the one I'm going to be specifically focusing on this afternoon. Okay, so why is a migration program needed now? I think this current situation we're in at the moment with COVID around the world, we need this migration more than anything. It's something that is keeping businesses alive, and the fact that their employees can work from home, and it's incredibly important. So the other topic is, what is the Dynamics 365 migration program? So we'll be delving deeper into that, and also at the end I'll explain to you how partners and customers can get started on that migration path. So first of all, why is a migration program needed now? So I think, you know, customers are at a bit of a crossroads. Do they go to the cloud or do they stay on premise? I think the most obvious reason for the migration program at the moment is the current situation we're in, as I said. I was working on a project back in March when COVID first hit the UK. And myself and the IT team actually had to work round the clock for nearly 2 weeks just to get everyone into a position so that they could access their systems from home. And it really hit them hard. And at the end of the month, when billing time came, and they were faced with a trip into central London during full lockdown, just so that they could print off all their invoices, only to realise that there was no point in sending them because most of their customers wouldn't even be in the office. So, you know, something like that was a real eye-opener for these guys, and I think they're not alone. I think it's something that's hit many businesses throughout the last 6 months. So immediately that causes serious cash flow problems in uncertain times. But I think the key thing is customers are coming to us at Microsoft and asking for guidance. Things like like COVID and the digital transformation, as well as end of life for some of the traditional systems such as AX, are forcing that decision. But not all customers have a cloud capable partner who's able to give them that guidance. Thus the need for Microsoft to try and address that gap. So a question to you as a business, do you have a cloud or a digital transformation strategy? If the answer is no, then you may as well be saying to yourself, my company is not worth the investment and it isn't going to grow in the next 5 years, because according to a recent Forrester research paper, 65% of businesses who were asked if they had a digital strategy said that they realized that if they didn't have some kind of digital strategy to get themselves into the cloud within the next 4 years, they realized that there was a very strong chance that they would go out of business. So we understand that migrating any system into the cloud requires big effort. So this program is really designed to make that transition easier to manage. And let's not forget the cost savings when you move to the cloud. So there's no hardware set up, meaning that the program can hit the ground running without the business experience and system downtime. Server maintenance is eliminated, meaning the IT department is also alleviated of a massive task. Software additions and upgrades all happen in the cloud without system downtime. So going to the cloud means a lot of saved work hours. Lack of setup also means there's no initial balloon investment. So cloud ERPs run on a flat rate monthly fee, so more of a pay as you use operational cost, as opposed to that big hit up front. This is and the good thing about that is means you can scale up or scale down as the market or your company growth dictates. So what are customers saying? So they've certainly, a lot of our customers certainly voiced their migration concerns. So, you know, what is the value of the cloud? What are the benefits of Dynamics 365 compared to what we're doing at the moment? And, you know, a lot of them feel that on-prem is good enough for what they need. But as I said previously, by saying that, you know, you're also saying, is your company not worth that investment? So migration is too complicated, and how can you help us through the journey? So out of these type of questions, our solution assessment workshops were born. So a big question is the cloud secure? So cloud offers secure gateways for remote access and document management systems that prevent the download of sensitive data. So it will have an on-site archiving of sensitive information that avoids you know, sensitive information falling into the wrong hands. Document retention is built into the cloud so that companies can be sure that they're always compliant and up to date with government industry standards. And proper security measures prevent data loss and ensure proper authentication of users across the system as a whole. So there's always reduced costs and increased flexibility and security. So I always like this slide. you know, what are the economic benefits of Microsoft Cloud? So let's think of this as an iceberg. Now, I like this picture because I always think of our minds as an iceberg. You know, there's the stuff that goes on the top, and then there's all those hidden things that happen underneath. So the subconscious, you've got your conscious part of your mind, and you've got your subconscious. And in the same way, with on-premise, you've got all this, and Microsoft Cloud, you've got all the costs that appear above the surface, but it's those hidden costs underneath the surface that are what companies tend to forget about. So with the move to the cloud, you experience not only increased agility and cleaner operations, but that total cost of ownership is vastly reduced. So cloud deployment brings many cost savings, such as, you know, moving from a capex to an opex model with scalable pricing, lower overall costs from that initial upfront financial investment of purchasing on-prem ERP systems to the cost of implementation, and then the routine hardware maintenance and ERP license costs. Multiple benefits included in the licensing price are, you know, always high availability for infrastructure, sandbox environments, servicing production environments, provisioning updates, etc., with always being monitored proactively. Additional usage rights, software embedded within Power BI, and the often costly disaster recovery package that often hits companies without them thinking about it. So you'll experience less and lower ongoing costs, and safeguarding against those hidden costs, such as upgrades, which can very often it's not only just the initial cost of the software and the what happens to get that upgrade up and running, it's the downtime for the company as a whole and the additional training. So those things tend to get forgotten about quite a lot. So what is the Dynamics migration program? So it's available to all existing AX customers. You get connected with a dedicated Microsoft advisor. It starts off with a free 2-day assessment process workshop from a consulting firm that works alongside Microsoft. You get a no obligation Microsoft assessment, and then that consultancy firm works with your partner to pick the best path and helps you create a project plan. So starts off with a kickoff and business introduction, and then you introduce to your SMA architect team. Then they will be asking the customer to run a self-service assessment, which the results are used to assess the associated migration efforts, and then they compile the final report with results and observations from the analysed data and additional workshops which will be held with customer contacts. So as you can see, it starts off with that initial introduction. Then you have the functional and technical assessment, reviews the state of the as-is and the current day findings. Then a review of those findings, processes, planning, vision and risk, any questions and answers around the upgrade methodology, and a high-level estimation ranges for the migration project itself. And then finally, that presentation and next steps discussion. So everything is presented back to you as the customer so that you're fully aware of everything involved with the migration. So what are the key focus areas for the solution assessment? So first of all, business reorganization or restructure. So very often at times like this, it's an opportunity for organization restructures. So, you know, it's making the partner aware of what those might be. So any changes in organization, any business process change, or any process re-engineering that needs to happen, or any workflows that need to happen. So it's a good time and a good opportunity to take stock of what it is you do and put together that in a plan as to where you want to get to. It looks at your database size and the quality. So what's the data quality? What's the consistency and integrity of that data? You know, it's a good opportunity to use this time to clean up data if you want to. And looking at purging or archiving substantial volumes of historical data. What customizations have you got, and what new functionalities is going to be available if you were to upgrade? So the need to use new functionality that's available in the new version. Looking at new business process flows, higher integrity, security and reliability requirements. Also looking at eliminating obsolete customizations. So, very often when customers were implementing ERP systems sort of 10, 15 years ago, a lot of customizations were made, and they've grown with the company, and they've very often been superseded by upgrades that have happened within the system, but they haven't been taken care of, so they're still there. So it's a good opportunity to remove all of those old customizations and look at starting afresh. It's also looking at what ISV solutions and integrations with third-party applications you have. So what add-ons do you have that try and fill those gaps that AX doesn't do? So it's looking at what new functionality will replace those ISV solutions, and looking at what technology changes have happened so that you can possibly do away with some of those solutions. And finally, you'll have the detailed review of the technical solution assessments. So what that assessment looks like is the existing solution, the object types. So what type of objects, what modules are you using, what modules are you not using as well, which is equally important, and why not? Upgrade effort required per object. What is the upgrade complexity? Is it easy? Is it medium? Is it hard? What are the upgrade actions? Is it a total re-implementation? Is it a clean migration? Or is it just a migration and extending your current capabilities? Then it's the initial known and the preliminary time estimation of what that upgrade might look like. So it's a very important aspect is, without having any kind of assessment up front, how will you know how long the migration might take? What it's uncovering all those hidden gems that the partner might not know about had they just gone straight into the migration. So what is the investment required to upgrade reports? What reports are you using? So these are out of the box reports, customized reports. It's having a clear understanding and an audit of what's needed and what's needed going forward, and looking at what existing integrations there are and what possible solutions could Dynamics 365 offer instead of those integrations. And there's also that preliminary technical scope for solution transition as is. So, you've got that opportunity to look at what you're doing now and what you want to get to in the future. So it's a good opportunity to really take stock of what your business processes are. And a typical scoping that usually takes weeks because of the tools we have, we can generally do that in as little as 2 to 3 days. And that's all presented back to you in an easy to understand format. It's presented back as either easy to read tables or graphs that lay out the comparisons between Dynamics AX and Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain. And it looks at things like the mapping of modules as well, and helps everyone involved understand which modules are no longer used or needed. And what we've certainly found is customers who migrate gain the competitive edge. We've seen multiple businesses thrive and significantly improve their processes by moving their ERP into the cloud with Dynamics 365. Businesses have become proactive with a connected and holistic view of data. So, data is definitely gold at the moment, and having that sort of one version of the truth by having everything in one place certainly allows them to deliver outcomes and identify opportunities. And we certainly see a shift that enables that 360 holistic view, connected data across the business, and enabling actionable insights that always deliver better outcomes that you wouldn't get from a siloed data view. So in our digital economy at the moment, businesses really must adapt and adjust faster, and practical outcomes have been experienced with a move to the cloud. So that includes things like increased revenue, better cost management, trust and security for mission critical applications, improved nimbleness, so agility. Businesses need to have solutions that are flexible and agile to meet ever-changing business needs and allow them to stay competitive. And also, very importantly, deeper insights and intelligence. Organizations now require that real-time, end-to-end, as I said, that one version of the truth, business intelligence, to provide proactive information to help them as the business and customer demands require it. So how can you get started? So number one is go away today and build out your cloud strategy. If that's the only thing you do, I really do urge you, build out that cloud strategy and start thinking about what digital transformation looks like for you. And secondly, take advantage of the Microsoft assessment by speaking to somebody on this call who can help you with your nomination. Or if you have any questions, then please, contact any of the guys, either Salami or Mehmet at ETG, or Ian at Tech Data, or pop your questions in the Q&A, and we'll get back to you later. Because honestly, moving to the cloud has never been easier or more in need as it is at the moment. So I just want to finish off and say, thank you very much, guys, for inviting me. I hope everyone's found it useful, and I'll hand you back to Salami.
Oh, thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So back to upgrade process. I'll talk a little bit about the assessment, but before starting the assessment, I want to remind one point about AX customer. Microsoft announced the end of service for legacy AX products on October 2021. So we know that you are at the crossroad, but we are optimistic that by migrating to Dynamics 365, you will not only utilize all the great benefits your experiences with AX legacy products, but will enjoy a whole new world of possibilities with real-time data and increased security. After October 2021, AX 2009, 2012, R2, including R2, will lose, the patches, regulatory updates, security updates, and also risk of compliance issues. Microsoft will continue making security hotfixes, non-security hotfixes, and regulatory updates for Dynamics AX 2012 R3 throughout the extended support periods ending October 2023. So October 2021 is the latest date for all versions before 2012 R3. After October 2021 till 2023, you will have the updates for R3, and the latest date for the October R3 is going to be 2023. So other, I want to say one more thing about, the migration assessment components with Microsoft. We understand your options to migrate from Dynamics AX, even version for 9 and 12. So customer will have an opportunity to take advantage of unique program with the end-to-end support to help them to find the best route and time to migrate to cloud version Dynamics 365. But together with the Microsoft, the assessment initiation, the functional technical review, upgrade assessment summary, which we put our experience and the practice as well as we have done already 6 and right nowadays starting the new ones. We put our full experience, hands-on experience as doing these upgrades last 2 years, and after assessment initiation together with Microsoft doing the functional and the technical review, high-level business process review on the functional review side, and assessment of the new capabilities and the enhancement against the existing features, and the recommendations for all industries, including manufacturing, retail, service industries, and we're providing the functional assessment report for the functional review. For the technical review, we analyze all the customizations, including your layer. During this time, we are not touching or we are not seeing any of your data. We're just dealing with the codes, and we're putting all the report modifications, data migrations, and the technical assessment report. Together with all, with Microsoft Today assessment, we are generating to upgrade assessment summary to show how to start the migration process, current deployment analysis, and we propose a timeline for the upgrade process, and we identify the resource requirements, and with the standard migration tool offers, and we put the recommendations for more detailed assessment. And we are, in addition to Microsoft, we are adding the 3 business day free of charge. That makes the total 5 business days for your whole assessment process, which makes you see the whole process clear. Almost clear, and gives you an idea how to start the migration process. So this would not change your commitment, to spend between 4 and 8 hours for this process. So will not take much of your time, but maybe maximum 8 hours of your time for some meetings and taking some technical, for example, your layer, var layer or cast layer, whichever layer you've been using for your customizations. So this is a great opportunity. So we're doing all this with the experienced consultant. Those have already done so many upgrades, and they have very deep knowledge about what type of issues, what type of the easiness, what of the enhancements are in the system. So so this is end of the webinar. Basically, we plan to share one questionnaire, but we were late, so we're gonna ask that question throughout our email on Monday to you. So we'll appreciate if you answer that question. It's going to be just one question. So I want to start the Q&A sessions. So the email addresses are all here. So if you have any questions, please just send an email to us. So we'll more than happy to answer any type of your migration to Dynamics 365 journey. So let me if you have any questions, just you see on the right hand side the Q&A session. There is the second icon from the left. So please send us your questions. So we will Mehmet and Ömer, and together with me, we will try to answer your questions. So we'll be here next 5-10 minutes to answer your questions. And thank you so much for your time attending this webinar and spending time together with us. Please let us know your questions. recording will be available after webinar. So we'll share the recording after the webinar, and we'll send the email to you, the link. Most probably we'll put in that webinar in our YouTube channel.
Have you got the link for your YouTube channel, or can you give that now, Salami?
Yeah, sure. Let me get it.
While Salami's doing that, I just want to thank everybody for attending as well from Tech Data's perspective. And if you need anything further from any of us, Microsoft, Tech Data or ETG, reach out to us either via the email addresses below or via LinkedIn. We're all on LinkedIn. So thanks for and thanks for the participation and the support from Microsoft and ETG for this Tech Data webinar this afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, this is the YouTube channel. You will reach all the recordings as well, the previous recordings. Okay, let me see the questions. Okay, it looks like we have done. No question. Everything is clear. So thanks so much for your attendance and for your time. If there is no last minute question, I will call you.
Salami, just before we go, I think you just need to put the link into the Q&A. I think it went into just a message to myself.
Right now in the Q&A, yes.
Just be useful before we close the session. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, thanks so much.
Right.
Please reach out to us. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.